Welcome back to Real Talk. Woo! We're back officially. We're gonna be consistently posting now every single week. Stuff has just been crazy. I'm trying not to curse. Stuff has been crazy.
It's been a shitstorm. Okay. I'll throw it out there. Okay, we're adults. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Whew. It has. It's been damn, it's been a shitstorm. Like
I feel like you said something like our heads have been above water like this, and we've just been trying so hard to keep afloat.
Yes. It's been nonstop. We got like 17, 20 listings, buyers. I mean, it's been crazy.
It's incredible. It is.
Yeah.
Like, it's great to have the business, obviously.
Very grateful for it. But yeah, it's been crazy.
I mean, with us too, it's like, we're both like,
and we are hiring. if well, I'm just gonna do a little plug for a hot minute, looking for somebody preferably licensed, little hybrid, showing assistant, someone to work with Hannah, contract to close. So if you know somebody, send them our way.
Yes,
please.
Yes.
Yeah.
South Carolina preferably.
Yeah. Yep. Benefits, 401k, all the things. So
and you get to work with us, so that's just
it's all the perks.
I mean, yeah, I think so, but
yes. But it's in office, no work from home.
Oh yes, we're in here. Hey, we got comfy chairs,
right?
We got the coffee shop next door. Like, it's nice. I love Fort Mill. I've really started to love Fort Mill.
Yeah, because you were like pro Waxa, which is still pro Waxa.
Pro Waxa.
You were like, what is this Fort Mill?
Well, yeah, I've only ever been to Fort Mill once, and so when I came down here, I was like, oh, this is really cute. I like this area a lot, and like you've kind of helped me explore it too.
That's
like
cute.
we've been to a lot of like restaurants and stuff, and springs, all of that.
All
it's really
things.
cool.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Well, that's where the office is. So if you go to work in Fort Mill,
come on out.
Join us.
Come hang out with Hannah and I. We have lots of fun.
And help us.
Yes, we're literally drowning. So, but that's okay. I feel like we're managing it, right?
Yeah, I think, once we get through the brunt of it, I think we're getting through it. I think we are,
we're doing
I mean, it's just because, I've heard you talk about the market, how it's completely flipped from what it was a couple months ago.
And I think that if you want to argue with me, you're wrong.
I'm wrong, you're right. I'm right, you're wrong.
I'm right, you're wrong. Yeah, could be why I'm single. But but no, it's true. So yeah, let's just get into that. I think that's kind of what we want to talk about. We've been saying that for a hot minute, and I think that's where sellers are struggling, right? The market is flipped, and I think that we're not going to see a flip back for a long time.
How long do you think?
Well, as soon as I get my crystal ball back from the shop, I will let you know. But I think that rates drive that, and we're hoping rates will come back based on the election, which I'm not even gonna get into that. But I don't know. And the other thing, so rates as well as inventory, and you look at our listings and they've just gone through the roof. Yeah. And I think it's not only just for us, but for other good agents that I will put that little asterisk on there. I think that's what's going to drive it, right? Yeah. And it's supply and demand. And I think that's where sellers are struggling. It's just that, buyers have choices now. Yeah. They have choices, and they're picky, and rightfully so, right? Which you could get for $800,000 today versus what you could get at $800,000 2 years ago. Two totally different things. Sure. And you look at rates. So what you could purchase for $800,000 at 6% versus what you could purchase at $800,000 for 3%. Two totally different things. So buyers are slow. What we used to negotiate in a contract in 2 hours now takes, a couple days. Because buyers, they take their time. They don't walk into a house and make an offer. They want to look at all their options, and they have a whole lot more options. Yes. Yeah, I feel like they kind of know that they're not in charge, but they have the power sort of in the situation. So they can, because the sellers, they just really want to sell their house, and because of all the overdraft of supply,
the amount of houses that are on the market right now, buyers can be like, oh, well, if I can't get this one, there'll be another one right around the corner.
Yeah, and that's true because we are just constantly seeing more inventory and more inventory, and buyers they're just taking their time, and I think that they, you maybe want to call it buyers fatigue from the last 2 years, where buyers just kind of got wore out.
Yeah.
From, having to lose after lose after lose, offer after offer, and having to go in and over asking. We just had an appraisal fall $155,000 short.
That was crazy.
Right? Probably the biggest one I think I've ever had in my whole career.
Wow.
And the sellers just refused to come down. Mm-hmm. And they're going to go back on market, and I think that they are a little delusional.
Delulu.
Right? In that they think that they're going to, either find a cash buyer, which if I had a cash buyer, I would probably tell my cash buyer in today's market to pull an appraisal anyway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just to protect their investment, as well as I think they're maybe thinking that they're going to find a buyer that's going to bring cash to the table to make up the gap, and that's not the market we're in anymore.
Not at all. Yeah, I honestly, I was surprised when I heard that they were going to go back on market, because I was like, oh, well, I mean, if that's a decision you want to make, then, we can't control that, but, I feel bad for the sellers right now. I really do.
Yeah, they're never going to sell a house.
And just in general, just seeing how, we get it. It can be frustrating when, you have a house that's on the market and you think that, you priced it well, and we talked about, the emotional connection that people have to their houses. Sure. And, they say, oh, I put so much work into this house, and, I believe that the house, is, could cost this much. And it's just, sometimes that's not the reality, and it's really sad. But, you always are very upfront with our sellers saying, you might not get what you want for this house, but you have to realize that you have to work with the people that are buying the house.
I think it's hard for sellers kind of in two aspects. One, when you see like, hey, my neighbor sold their house, 6 months ago, and they netted X. Yeah. Right? Why am I netting it? Well, we have to look at a couple things. Like, one, what did your seller do? Mm-hmm. Right? Or what did your neighbor do? Right? Did your neighbor do things to the house? Yeah. Because I think there's a lot of sellers during COVID that were netting ridiculous amounts of money for not doing anything. Mm-hmm. Well, we're kind of out of that market, right? So you have to look at what amount of money are you netting in your house. You really just haven't done anything. Yeah. Right? And so I think the sellers right now that are actually putting their houses on the market and are actually, the houses are moving quickly, are the sellers that have actually done some improvements to their house. Yes. Whether that's, new flooring, they've updated their homes, they've done improvements to the backyard. Yes. They've updated the kitchen, they've updated bathrooms. That's what buyers want right now. Yeah. Buyers are extremely picky. Yes. They're not wanting homes that they have to, okay, well, I'm willing to update floors, I'm willing to update bathrooms, I'm willing to update kitchens, and that's partially because they don't have the money. Yeah. They don't have that expendable income because they're having to put additional money down because rates are so high. They just don't have that buffer. Yeah. So they're wanting homes that are already done and move-in ready. So sellers have to realize, if I bought a home 4 or 5 years ago and I haven't done anything to it, they're going to have to realize the market's shifted now and you're going to have to come down in price. Yes. Because you're just not going to get that money back.
Yes, something's got to give because we're not, and I think that just in general as a society, I think we're still kind of not stuck in the 2020 mindset and you know what I mean? But I think that, that obviously was such a drastic change in the way of life, the economy, all of that, to where, people are like, oh, well, it was like this not too long ago, a few years ago, but now, we're not back to normal, but,
Well, I think back to normal, I think that the market is trying to adjust and we're trying to get more to a healthy market.
Yes.
And that's more of a balanced market, right? And so I think sellers that have bought a home pre-COVID, haven't done anything to it, and are expecting a large return, I think are in a bit of a shock.
Yes.
Because
rightfully so.
They're not getting it. So the your neighbor might have sold, but your neighbor might not have had animals. Not all buyers love animals. Some buyers might love their animal, but not your animals. Or I hate to say
it's true.
I have 2 dogs.
Yeah,
okay?
so do I.
Sometimes I don't even like my dogs. But I'll tell you, I work with buyers, and some of them walk in and they're either allergic, which is fair, or you know what, they just don't like animals, and they can tell in a hot minute if a house has dogs and they don't like them, or cats, or whatever it may be. That could be a deal breaker. Or as much as I hate to say it, like, carpet doesn't last long.
It's true.
It just doesn't. And carpet is not necessarily a great thing.
I think that people are really getting more into just having hardwood because it's a lot easier to maintain.
It really is. And styles change and trends change. So again, if you bought a house 4 or 5 years ago and you literally did nothing to it, the days of just buying a house and expecting that 20% return, it's gone.
And it's gonna be a while I think that sellers also don't realize that there's like you were talking about the animals. That's such a not small, but that's like a thing that some people might not think about.
Right.
They're like, oh, well, my dogs, like, I clean up after them, and like, like it's like, it's fine. Like, it doesn't smell in here or whatever. Like, we don't have like, buffer or anything, but a fresh set of eyes can see or hear or smell something like.
Well, you kind of become nose blind to it, I think.
Yes.
And, it's so hard to detach from your home. So it's interesting. I think I was telling you this. I bought a home, bought and sold my home in March. And I didn't use an agent. Because hell, Hannah, that's what I do.
You're an agent.
We buy and sell, on average 5 to 10 homes a year. And I made a lot of mistakes on my transactions. And I left a lot of money on the table and on selling my house. And more so, I missed a lot of stuff when I purchased my house. I really did. And there's a girlfriend of mine, and I've talked to her, and I've said I would never go through that transaction again. The next house I sell and buy, I will not use myself. And the reason is because you're so emotionally attached.
Yes.
Right? And that's our job as agents, because we are able to step back and we're able to emotionally detach.
Yes.
Right? And looking back, I lost money for my family, for me and my kids, because I was in the transaction and I was emotionally attached, and I made mistakes that I would have never made for a client.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And I've been so mad at myself. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, Kimberly, you would have called your engineer over that wall, or you would have done this, or you would have never allowed a client to do that.
Yep.
But I was so emotionally attached to these things. And at that time in my life, it was also a major transition point for me. Right? And I'm just like, it wasn't necessarily about the commission. It was just like, well, this is what I do.
Yeah.
But an agent is so important for that reason, because you're one step away. You're one step removed.
Exactly. And you can't represent yourself the way you represent someone else.
Correct.
That is like the biggest thing. And I think that's why it's so hard for people to sell their own houses. Like, that's exactly your point. Like,
100%.
You'll be like, oh, I don't want to do that, or I don't want to do it because, you're like, oh, I love it, and there could be so many things you're missing. And that's what's, like you said, like, what's so good about having someone who's in your corner, who's empathetic towards what you're going through, what you're feeling, but can also see it through a different lens.
100%.
And can tell you realities.
Yeah.
You know, because not everybody knows like everything about the market. Like that's just not realistic.
Yeah.
A person who studies the market, who has, you know, studied and who lives and breathes real estate is the person you want to have backing you up.
Yeah.
Because they're going to get the best outcome for you.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I know that contract inside and out.
Yep.
I literally, but I made mistakes because I was emotionally attached to it.
Yep.
And looking back, I'm just like, dang. I'm like, I left so, you know, I made some mistakes and I left so much money on the table because I was attached, right?
Yeah, I've heard you say that before. You're like, Hannah, I lost money. I don't know what I did. I can't believe I did.
Dude, how did I let myself, right? So yeah, I will never buy and sell a house for myself again. I will hire an agent.
Yes, and hire a good one.
And a good, oh girl.
And you know the good ones.
I'll hire the second best agent out there.
The second best. I love that.
Oh, for real. Yeah.
There are really good agents out there.
There are good agents out there.
There
are good agents, yeah.
And they also understand that, you know, we are just trying to be doing the best for our clients too. Like, you know, on either side, you're just trying to do the best for your clients, seller, buyer, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, I think another thing, along with, you know, talking about how the market has affected people, like how people affect people, you know, like we just need to have more empathy for each other, especially nowadays. I think that just in business or in relationships, just be nice to each other and communicate.
What's funny too, so we've seen the market shift with sellers being frustrated, and it's fair, right? It's fair.
It is so fair.
It was a hard, quick shift.
Very much so. We saw it.
Yep, we saw it, and but it's been interesting to see the on the agent side.
It's been interesting to see how the agents have reacted to it. Yeah, you know, because I mean, we, you know, obviously we've been like, oh my god, whoosh, like, you know, but I think that, not to toot our own horn or anything, but we've been doing our darndest.
We have,
you know,
and I would say, well, we anticipated this, that we would flush out good agents and bad agents, and I would say right now we probably have, what do we have? We got 17, about 25 deals right now.
Yes.
30 deals. And I would say of those, would you agree we probably have, what, like 60% good agents?
I would say so.
Maybe 65% good agents.
About majority of them. Yeah.
But then we've got some agents that are just floundering, right?
Yes, it's so true, and it's upsetting to see, because like we're trying so hard to communicate and to, you know, be just, you know, neutral and everything, and it's hard sometimes.
What scares me is for those clients that have these agents representing them, right? So let's look at that one agent that literally submitted an offer, and the contract wasn't contingent on financing. No. But yet his client was getting a loan.
Yeah.
And I had to point that out. And that's not even our client.
Yep.
You know? And so right now is so vital, I think, for people to know who's representing them.
It's so, and we talk about it all the time, but I think especially now because of how the market is.
Because of how the market is.
It's so important.
So crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you're so right.
And it's, I mean, like, what else have we had?
Well, I think that, you know, just in general, like whenever we talked about that agent who got sued by her buyers, I think that now, clients don't know who,
right?
Like, and sometimes they have no idea, like what is going on behind. They don't have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. Like there's no way they would. Yeah. And all those email conversations, like all the stuff that's going on behind the scenes, like
I try really hard. I don't think people realize how much I work. Like I left here.
She works
yesterday. Went on a personal appointment, and then I ended up going to Corkscrew, and I was literally at the bar. My phone was not stopping. And then the lady sat beside me, and she goes, "I'm sorry, you in real estate?" estate.
How'd you know?
Right, which is great because sometimes we pick up clients that way. But sweet girl, and I was talking to her, and of course she asked me about the NAR lawsuit, right?
Yep.
And explained that to her, and she was like, nobody's ever explained it to me that way. And I was like, it's really nothing new.
No.
You know, I was like, it's not. And I said, unfortunately, it's because of agents that are either inexperienced or didn't know how to prove their value and just try to say, we're free, use me.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what caused the lawsuit, right? And she took my card and she was like, I'm going to use you because nobody's ever explained it to me that way.
Exactly.
And she's like, so we've always had to pay for a buyer's agent. And I was like, 100%. Buyer's always been responsible for the buyer's agent commission. Yeah. And I think it's just a good, solid agent that knows their worth and doesn't need to step out of their lane.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm not a structural engineer. Right? I got a good one.
You do?
Fantastic one.
You do have a good one, yes.
You know, I've got a great crawl space guy. We've got a fantastic electrician.
Yep. Painter, all of that.
Right. But I don't know shit about electricians. You know, or electricity. And I'm not going to. I
you know your field.
Correct. I stay in my lane.
Yep.
And that's where my commission's earned.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and I think that's where agents go wrong, and I think that's where our transactions go off the wheels when an agent steps in and goes, this deck has structural issues and it's gonna fall off the side of the house.
Like, how do you know that?
You don't.
You don't.
And how are you qualified to say that?
You're not.
Because that's when you get your client all spun up.
Yes, they freak out. They're like, oh my God, well, I have to fix this.
Okay, that's what the agent said.
Stuff has to happen. Like, we have to do this and this and this. The seller has to pay this and all that. We've seen that in one of our transactions. Like, and we've had a video on that too. Like, an agent that goes into a house and is like, that's wrong, that's bad, that's bad. You're gonna freak your client out.
Right. And it
seriously
very well could be.
Sure.
But an engineer needs to say that. And that's not going to prove your commission.
Let the inspector do the inspector's job.
Correct.
What you're paying the inspector for. And they will know because they're the professionals. And then, you know, an engineer can't say, you know, like what they're gonna do about the real estate, what the clients are gonna do about the real estate market, you know, like they can't do that. It goes both ways. Yeah,
my engineer called me the other day and was like, hey, Kimberly, where's the market going? And I call him and go, hey, Dan, is this wall gonna fall down?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
I mean, it's like, stay in your lane.
Seriously. And that's so nice that you were able to like let that girl know, you know, about just something that she didn't know, you know? 100%. And it's all about education. Yep. And I will say, just as a sidebar, she does work a lot. Okay, she'll tell me, she'll be like, Hannah, this weekend my phone's gonna be off, I'm not gonna work. And all of a sudden we come in on Monday, she's like, Hannah, I worked all weekend. I'm like, really? She's
like, I know, I saw 500 emails.
I'm like, oh yeah, I saw all of the back and forth. Or Hannah, oh, you had a vacation a little while ago. You were like, I'm gonna be unplugged. You're gonna take care of it. I'm gonna be unplugged. All of a sudden it was, and you were like, I worked all vacation.
You had like 3 people under contract that weekend.
Oh my God.
My poor children. They may disown me.
I mean, but for real, like, I'm big, I mean, I know she's my boss, but I'm a big advocate for her.
I love you.
You're a wonderful agent.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And you are wonderful.
Oh, stop it.
No, you are. You're great. You support me and you are fabulous. So.
Thank you. Well, I mean, I think that, you know, we're all going to get through it.
We are.
No matter what, even though the market can be, it's crazy.
It is. But you know what? Like, we have no choice but to get through it. First of all. So
exactly. That's what no matter what, you got no choice. Like, time goes on, like life goes on. You just got to keep going.
Well, and we have great supporters. You know, Katie, we love you.
Katie.
We get all of our clients to the table. Charlie, our our attorney. He's fantastic. Again, all of our vendors are fantastic.
Yeah. All of our past clients too.
Oh my gosh. We do have some of the best clients.
Seriously.
So yes, we're so grateful for our clients. We appreciate y'all.
Charlie, sorry for annoying you so much.
She's not. She's really not.
Hey, gotta do what you gotta do. I need to get this stuff done. So, but yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, just a big thank you to everybody.
Yeah, to everyone. So
yeah. Well, I think that's it for today, probably, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys do have questions about the market, especially sellers, I know it's brutal right now. But listen, if you saw our board, we have almost all of our clients under contract right now, almost all of our sellers. Yes, and for good prices. So we just have to adjust. We just have to make some changes and some adjustments.
Yeah.
So it's not an impossible market. It's just not the COVID market that we saw.
Yes.
So reach out to us if you have questions. If there's something specific you guys want us to talk about, we're happy to talk about it.
Yeah.
So
hey, we'll sit right back down here and discuss whatever you want. So
thanks, y'all.